Hi everyone, welcome back to Lesson 5 of Swift Explorers Singapore. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we are going to get started learning stuff and I don't know, just like putting stuff on the screen. Okay, that's pretty much what we do, just put stuff on the screen all day long. In Lesson 5, I hope you managed to watch it before lesson because there was quite a bit of stuff and I'm still editing Lesson 6. I will tell you about my travails of trying to record lesson 6. Essentially, I had to record it about 3 times. But it's going to be a little bit long. I have to warn you, lesson 6 is going to be a little bit long. I hope you can budget a little bit of time to watch that later on. Okay, so anyway, let's go. Zoom rules, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, please put your school name so that later on we check who's here, etc., etc. Okay, Ken. All right. What is phase 3? Blah blah blah. You know what? I don't change these slides from week to week. Okay, I just put them here just to remind myself of whether there's anything I need to talk about. So anyway, resources, Discord and Notion. You should know about these by now. Okay, if you don't, please let me know in the Zoom chat. We will help you. Okay. This is the Notion. Yep, lots of stuff on Notion. Please take a look. Okay. Attendance, please watch the video class. Please do the work assigned. All right, please join one of the online classes. Congrats, you're here. And attempt the work assigned there. So technically, you should submit 2 things a week. We are not keeping very detailed track of whether you're submitting everything or not, but we know that some people are doing pretty well. We are fairly confident of some people's ability to finish this project. We are a little bit more mystified by whether some other people are keeping up. So help us out, right? Just submit something if you have. And if you're not sure, please just let us know. Okay, not sure, ask in the questions channel. Try not to ask in your own school's channel. Try to ask in the questions channel so that everyone can benefit from what you're asking from. Okay. So yeah, please make sure someone from your group attends or submits each week, before the September holiday hackathon. We just want to make sure that all of you can be represented. And the last line says the pace of the class will pick up soon. Soon, that's me. Not so much in the pace of the class has picked up. There's a whole bunch of stuff. And as I mentioned to those of you who were here earlier, lesson 6 is a little bit long. I'm trying to cut it down. Okay, I'm trying my best to cut it down, but there's quite a lot of stuff inside there. Okay. So yeah, please try and keep up with the class. You're here, that's great. Those of you who are watching this on Zoom, on YouTube, that's great too. But please let me know if you're not sure about anything. Okay. I still am fairly confident that people can keep up if you just watch the stuff. But let us know if you have questions. Okay, last thing is submitting code. As always, please use code.tk.sg. Same thing goes for asking questions, right? So you're like, hey, how come my code doesn't work? You can actually take a screenshot of your iPad, send it to Discord, and also paste in all your code into code.tk.sg to generate a unique link to your code. And then we can look at it. We're like, oh, what's wrong? Because sometimes the errors are not visible on the page. Okay, there'll be error here, but the error comes much later on. All right, or some of you might have an issue where you have a lot of curly braces and you just can't fix it. Okay, we want to see your code so that we can help fix it. Okay, great thing about SwiftUI is that it's actually quite easy to take your code and run it on my iPad. This is not actually the case when you are coding on the Mac. If any of you have ever heard of or tried this thing called UIKit, which is how iOS apps were made, you used to have to send over one entire project file with a whole bunch of random other files before you could open it. Nowadays, SwiftUI, just take your code, put it in, it works. Okay, and that's because you are writing your user interface in Swift UI. Okay, so just something to note. And those of you who are interested in what's going on in the rest of the class, any questions, just type it in, see whether you can fix it. Okay, by all means, it's a great way to exercise what you've learned. Okay, so this is what we did in lesson 5, right? So we did this little fake context app. Okay, and it's fake because you have to manually go and write in all these things. I can see over here, I tap on Chia-Chen, right? It actually shows YJ. Okay, but I think it looks fairly convincing, right? It looks fairly convincing. And I think those of you who have this kind of interface element in your app, whether or not you use the navigation bar is up to you. Okay, because the navigation bar is a little bit tricky to customize. But if you find that you have something like this in your app, you can consider using this particular layout. Okay, just save this somewhere in your Swift Playgrounds and you're like, oh, hey, I wanted to make something that looked like this. Yeah, I can just go back to this project and grab the code from there. That's kind of what we want you to do, right? We want you to build up this library of information I don't expect you to remember all this stuff. Okay, I barely remember about half of it. Okay, the rest of it, during lesson time, I'll just ask, "Hey, Jia Chen, how do I do this?" Like, he remembers everything for some reason. Okay, but he's like he's half my age and therefore has twice my brain capacity. Okay, but that's the thing. So you don't need to remember all this, but know where to find it, lah. Right, know where to find it. And today later, I will show you. You can even look up new stuff and try it out online. Okay, so later I'll show you how we do that. Okay, so that's the Contacts app. I think it's a good time for me to take a look at your Contacts apps. So these are, of course, the last two Padlets. One was from the extension. The extension last week was to make a music player, and I really enjoyed seeing your taste of music. So let's go take a look at that. Okay, so this is the music player app that we did in the last week's live lesson. Look at that, it's so colorful, right? Very cool. And you can see this, yeah, some of these really look good with the background. So one thing I have to apologize for is last week's Thursday class, I forgot to talk about this background blur thing. So I hope you caught the video. I mentioned it in the announcements. I think it was, I even gave the timestamp about where you might want to see it. Essentially, what I went through last week for Saturday was I remembered that, hey, one nice thing you could do is you could take this image and dump it in the background as part of a Z-stack and just blur it. So there's a blur modifier. Okay, so those of you use Photoshop or whatever, you know that you blur something, it's a nice little, like frosted image, and it looks really nice. Okay, so that's what we demoed in class. So I apologize if I didn't actually manage to let everyone do it. Okay, so on Thursday. Okay, but anyway, let's take a look at some of this. This looks good. I hope I don't get rickrolled, but let's take a look. All right, so here we go. This is from Nicole from Crescent. All right, so let's take a look at this. All right, so yeah, this is Starboy. It's a great album. Let me see if it actually wants to run or not. I don't think I need to. Whoever knows me, all right, you're going to like it. With this very Spotify. So thank you, Nicole. All right, so let's take a look at this. So I'm glad that some of you actually combine this with the play sound thing from last time. Okay, so this Hao Qi from VJC. Okay, so yeah, you can see the subtle animation. All right, so this is the heart and this is the dislike button. So thank you. All right, this is from Yong Ai from CHIJ. Let's see if I can maximize these. I don't know why it's not letting me open up the Padlet's not letting me open up the full screen for whatever reason. Okay, so that's up. All right. Okay, nice. Oh, okay. So I think if I remember correctly, UI is the one who asked the question about how to actually pause the audio. Oh, great, it decides to screen now. Okay, so this can be done, right? The pausing audio part can be done. Okay, so I'd like to see how it's done inside her code. Okay, so let's see over here. So over here, you can see there's a button, there's a circle, right? I presume the second button is the play button. Okay, and it says, instead of doing any play command, it does this thing. It says is playing.toggle. Okay, and if I'm not wrong, here you go. This circle has a sound attached to it. And this sound only plays when the isPlaying modifier, when the isPlaying state variable is set to true. Okay, so this is a very interesting approach, right? And how did she know about this? Well, she asked questions like, okay, so Jia Chen had some comments about it, and then he was like, this one might be a bit hard to do there. Whereas in the documentation is there. What is the documentation? You can go to github.com/ you probably typed this out a few times by now, 2straws/subsonic. And you can scroll down and you can see how to use it. Okay, so some of this, you know how to do this, right? Button with play. Option 2 is where we're looking at. This is a different one. You can create this state object called a sound, right? Which is a bit confusing. Okay, but we're using this thing, option 3, bind or playback to program state. So you create a state variable, you set it to be false, and then you have a modifier that just plays the song when isPlaying is true. So you can actually use this isPlaying, which is what Yong Ai did. She used this isPlaying not only to play the song, but also to adjust the look of the program. Okay, and by adding this other parameter that says play mode :.continue, which is somewhere down here, right? Is documented somewhere over here. All right, so there you go, right? The sound modifier is an extra option, play mode, which controls what happens when the sound resumes playing after it was stopped. This is set to reset by default, which means when the sound resumes playing, it will start from the beginning. But you can use .continue to have sounds pick up where they left off. Okay, so really cool, right? Really cool. So I do appreciate this, right? It's a nice demo of what can be done. Okay, but you know what? Don't worry too much about replicating all the functionality in the eventual prototype that you make. Okay, so just wanted to be clear on that. Okay, here is Kehlani, who is definitely not out to rickroll us, I presume. Let's check. Okay, so this is Taylor Swift, right? Obviously not a rickroll. Oh no. Okay, so yeah. All right, thank you for that. You can see this is a rickroll. So okay, so let's go on to Aisha. Let's take a look at this. Lower your volume before playing. Thank you. Okay, look good. Right, and this album cover really does well backgrounds. And this one's from Ashley. Thank you. Let's take a look at some of these. All right, so play, pause. Okay, successfully added to favorites. That's a nice error message. No, not a nice error message. I guess it's a nice message to tell people what's going on. Okay. All right, here's Farhan. Here is a Rick Astley album cover. So just be mentally prepared. Okay. Okay, so no echo sound, so that's good. Okay. All right. Okay, so yeah, by all means, you can of course customize it however you want, right? With different colors and different backgrounds and things like that. Thanks, Farhan. And last one over here, this is from Natalie. My maximize button is working finally. Okay, so this is ITZY. I think the crowd this right. Yeah, I think the sound, but it didn't quite get recorded. Okay, thank you so much. Right, thank you so much. Let go. All right, so that's 4A, and I think yeah, if you're interested in how any of the stuff is done, right, by all means, especially this one changed halfway, right? I mean, I got distracted by the rickroll, but Kehlani's one actually changed halfway. So if you're interested how that works, okay, yep, something actually does it. Okay, there's a lot of code to look through, and you know what, you can actually just copy and paste all this. By the way, if you ever want to copy and paste from these things, I think if you try and copy and paste from here, you might copy the line numbers. You can click on this button over here that says just text, right? Then you can just copy and paste the entire thing into yours. There'll be some stuff that doesn't work, like because the album art and the song name and stuff might need to. Some of these might be dependent on files that she has in her project. Okay. All right, thank you everyone for that. I did enjoy that, other than getting rickrolled. But here is the friends list. Okay, so friends list, you saw my demo. Let's take a look at what's been submitted so far. Okay, so here's one from Farhan. Right, thank you to all this stuff. I think I saw this before, and it's an interesting application. So you can see over here. Right, so again, let's run. So Farhan has decided to make it look like an iPad app. So you can see it's got the left and right view. Right, so those of you who use that, right, you know that the left side, right side have different views, right? Left side is the bar that you select from, and the right side is the detail view. Okay, so yeah, this is health, right? So this is blood pressure. Whoa. Okay, so as I remember seeing this, so Farhan actually took all his other apps and just literally put them inside here. And you know what? That makes sense, right? Maybe it's not a context app, but it's a nice little showcase app that you can use. Okay, and you can see that. Whoa. Okay, I remember this. Okay, so you can see that it's very nice and composable. Okay, that's a nice thing about this UI. We can just take stuff from one place and then just plonk it into another place. Okay, so that's nice. Thank you to Farhan for doing this. All right, so let's take a look at this one from Haoqi. See if I can maximize the screen. Okay, so different styling, right? Different styling from what we have, but that's perfectly fine. Okay, you can customize this because you might want yours to look a little bit different from the version that we had. Okay, so you can give it some. I think the underlines are from the underlined things are from preference from Haoqi's iPad. But the rest of this, having these little boxes around, okay, I'm not sure whether those are actually like those might be actually styled. Like you put an actual box around it, you put corner radius and a shadow and stuff like that. Okay, so thank you. Here is Kehlani, who cannot possibly be rickrolling us from this app, can she? Who knows? Let's check. Okay, this is a Stalker notebook. Okay, yes, it's a professional rickrolling. Yes, professional rickroller, true. right? And I guess one of the things you might have noticed that after you type all this stuff in, you exit and come back. Okay, it's not actually going to save, but that's fine. Okay, to do all that would require a lot more Swift knowledge, a lot more programming. Okay. Oh no, here we go. Okay, but anyway, to actually save all the information and pass it back and forth and things like that is going to take a bit of that. So, don't worry about. All right. Okay, so next, I guess, over here we have Aisha. Okay, so dark mode, sure. Right, you can just click on it and see what it's like. So you can see that. Oh, thank you. Am I a cool guy? Yes, thank you. Right, I'm a cool guy. Wait, no, I'm not. Dang it. Okay, I have indeed been rickrolled a lot of times, so that's true. Okay, so all right, number of times cried over studies. Oh, okay, hang in there, folks. Okay, so -1. That's good. All right, thank you, Aisha. This is from Natalie. Let's open this up. So if any of you are interested in how any of these was done, right? Our friends have very kindly put up their code. Although I have a quick request, when you're putting this up, when you're putting on multiple files, try and let us know what file is which. Although we can just open it and see lah. Okay. All right. Thank you, Natalie. This is good. All right. Let's see if we have any more. Here's one from Yong Ai. Okay, so there's 2 views as far as I can tell. But so yeah, so let's just click on this, and you can see all these people. Oh, Yong Ai's from Taiwan. All right, cool. That explains the traditional Chinese settings, but sure. Okay, thank you. And here's one from Ashley. Did this just get submitted? This wasn't here just now. Okay, thanks, Ashley. Okay, so here's a journal. Oh, that's a good idea, right? You can use a different thing. Okay, but journal today did not go too well. Oh, okay. So how do you feel today? Happy, sad, angry? Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So this is this would be a perfectly workable prototype. Okay, so this you can demo typing it in. So hopefully this gives you a sense of how this improves your prototypes over what you have in Keynote so far, right? The Keynote ones, assuming that you are doing a daily mood journal, right? A moody journal, if you will, in your Keynote prototype, you wouldn't be able to do some of those things that Ashley just demoed to us. Okay, so I think this is pretty cool, right? I can imagine if you press this plus button, maybe it pops up a sheet and lets you fill in some stuff, like fill in some text fields. Okay, I guess some of these user interface elements, I don't have a good solution for this, but yeah, the problem is that if you turn on multiple things, can be happy, sad, angry, and neutral. I don't have a good solution for this, although you could argue that you could be happy, sad, angry, and neutral in the same day. Who knows? Okay, thank you so much. All right, I really like this. Thank you, Ashley. Okay, thanks so much, everyone. If there's any new stuff, I will go through it on Saturday. And it's a better than zero chance that I will upload the Saturday session, because that usually turns out a bit better. I'm not so rushed after a full day at work. But never mind. All right, thank you for joining me today. Let's continue with our actual lesson. Right. Okay, so here we are back in my actual lesson. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go create a new app. So tap on create new app, and I am going to make another list style app. Okay, so the context app is a list style app, and I don't think I emphasized this very much in my lesson 5 video, but there are a ton of list style apps in your iOS, right? And iPad OS, and you know what? In other mobile operating systems as well. Okay, so for example, in your settings app, so I'm just going to pull up my settings app. So in your settings app, this whole thing is a list on the left-hand side, and this whole thing is a list on the right-hand side. And if you tap on any of these are also lists. Okay, so lists and lists and lists. Okay, and there's a certain look and feel to these. Okay, and these are not, you don't need to style these one by one. You can actually make these using the built-in features. Okay, Jaden, you raise your hand. You have a question? Right, let me know. Okay. Or if you press wrongly, that's fine. So, okay. All right. So, but once again, I would emphasize, this is a good chance to ask questions. Please feel free. Please feel free. Okay, so lists are everywhere, right? Lists are everywhere. In fact, you know what? Your WhatsApp, Telegram, all these apps that you use very often, right? Instagram, the Instagram feature of looking through all your photos one by one, that is a list. Okay, it's just that the cell is very big, right? This thing, the cell is the height of a piece of text. But for Instagram, each list item is like one picture followed by some text. Okay, but it's a list, right? It's just a list of stuff. Twitter is a list. TikTok is a list, but it's a list of videos, and each video takes up one entire page. Okay. Instagram chat. It looks like a bubble, speech bubbles, but actually that's just a list and it all just styled slightly differently. So I keep saying the word list, and that's because a list has a certain meaning in iPadOS. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my Swift Playgrounds and let's make a list. What happened to my Swift Playgrounds? Wait, like that. Okay, there you go. Wait, what? What is this? This is the wrong app, right? This is that's lesson 6, by the way. Okay, so anyway, let's go look at this. We're going to make a grocery list or something. Okay, so I'm still not 100% sure what we're making. I just know that I have a bunch of stuff I want to show you, and it's going to be some kind of chapalam thing that just comes together. All right, so if you're following along, right, by all means, and if not, don't worry. Later on, I will, as usual, be able to share with you the code. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to convert this VStack into a navigation view. Okay, and inside here, instead of a VStack, I'm going to start off with something called a form. Okay, all right. Well, do you notice something happen? I don't know if you can see over Zoom, but the background turned gray. Okay, which is not very interesting, but sure, let me show you text, right? I'm going to say text, hello world. Okay, notice what happened? What happened here is that now I have this interesting style over here, right? Where we can actually see this text hello world in a certain style. Okay, let's go add some more. Let's see what happens, right? Text. What is this? Okay, so hopefully you can tell what's going on. Each of these is actually a list item. Okay, each of these is actually a list item. And this actually lets you lay out something on the screen that looks like it belongs exactly in iPadOS or iOS. Okay, so here's what I might do. Maybe I'm just going to attach a navigation title to this. Okay, and navigation title, I'm just going to put in I'm just going to say this is my groceries. Okay, and I want to buy, for example, I want to buy cookies and milk, I guess. Okay, so all right, so you can imagine something like this feeling right at home on iOS. Okay, and you can scroll up and down, right, as always. And if you want to add some more stuff, sure, no problem, right? You can add text. I'm going to add, let's say, bananas. Okay, simple enough. Okay, so far so good, no problem, right? So this is a simple iOS list, and this thing is called a form. However, if you remember our settings app, some of them show up in different sections. Okay, so maybe you have different sections for your groceries. Okay, we can do that. So I'm going to introduce yet another new view. It's called the section. Okay, so section over here, I need to move my stuff into the section. Okay, which is not very interesting, but now I can have a different section. And inside this section, I can have things that cannot be eaten. For example, I don't know, toilet paper. Okay, so that's a new section, right? So what else can we have inside this category? So what else do you need to buy on a regular basis? Kitchen towels. Okay, I don't know how many you actually go and buy groceries, but this is. And now you're like, hey, wait a minute. So these are in two distinct sections, but I mean, I can tell what they are from the contents, but how you want to find out more by just looking at the title for it? Yes, you can do that too. For the section, you can do open bracket, and you can have a title, food. Okay. Oops. Okay, hang on, Jia Chen, can you remind me how I do this? Extraneous argument labels. I'm going to tap on this. Replace title with, oh, right, sorry. Okay, I don't actually need the word title. Okay, so, all right, so extraneous means extra. We don't need that. Okay, so I'm going to delete this. Section food. Okay, great. Okay, so this one down here, this is section, let's go with toiletries, perhaps. Okay, and stuff like that. Okay, so this is starting to take shape. Okay, it's starting to take shape. So that's nice. All right, that's nice. What else can we add? How about let's say we're planning for a camping trip. Okay, and we need to get stuff for day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. Okay, so let's do something like that. So I'm going to do a section. Oops, I have a stray closing inverted comma. By the way, if anyone knows why my inverted comma does this, every time I open it, every time I click on this, it gives me this weird thing where I cannot type. Okay, and it'll try and I cannot type unless if I put a letter, it will give me this random umlaut. If anyone knows what setting it is, let me know, because it's driving me insane. It's been like this for the last 5 weeks of me recording and stuff like that. I'm going nuts. Okay, anyway, so section camping trip. Okay, so for the camping trip, what I want to do is, right, don't forget the curly brace for the actual contents of the camping trip. I want to have a text that says stuff for day 1. Okay, stuff for day 1. Then I want to have stuff for day 2 all the way to day 7, because I'm going on a 7-day camping trip. Okay, just away from my computers and the internet and everything. Okay, so let's copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste until we get 5 and 6 and 7. Okay, one thing you will notice is that the lists will scroll automatically. Okay, if you remember from About Me, you had to actually make a scroll view in order to scroll your stuff. All right, great thing about lists, you don't need to. These lists or forms, I use these words fairly interchangeably. Later, I'll show you why. Okay, great thing about lists is that you don't need to make a scroll view. It already has an implicit scroll view inside. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to scroll down and see. Then we realize, oh man, I have another, let's say I want to go on a 20-day camping trip. I need to copy and paste this so many times. Surely there must be a better way, right? Surely there's a point that YJ is trying to get to. Yes, there is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can do this with a for loop, but it's not really a for loop. Okay, you remember for loops in Swift Playgrounds? We're not going to do the same thing. We're going to do something called a for each. Okay, so for each 0 ... less than 20. Okay, sorry. Right. Okay, then I'm going to type in over here. I need to say day in. Okay, let's use I. Right, let's use I. Okay, remember we used for I in 0 ... less than 5 or something like that. Okay, it's very similar to this. What we're going to do now is we're going to say text, open bracket, and we are going to say stuff for day slash bracket. Remember string interpolation? I'm going to put the I inside here. And you see on my right hand side, magically it has appeared stuff for day 0 all the way to 19. At which point I realized, where got day 0, right? I'm not an array. I'm going to day I plus 1. Okay, fantastic. Right now I have stuff for day 1 all the way to day 20. This is a for each. It's like a for loop that takes whatever is inside it and just repeats it a fixed number of times. Okay, how do you know how many? Well, you have to use this thing called for each 0 ... less than followed by an upper limit. Okay, be aware that your counting variable, in this case I, never reaches the upper limit. Okay, it only goes to 1 below it. But by doing so, it will actually run 20 times, because you start from 0 and you end at 19, and that is 20 times. Okay, so I think this is going to be pretty handy if you ever need to repeat something and just show a whole bunch of stuff on screen many, many, many times. Okay, be aware that you can name this counting variable anything. You know what? I'm going to call it anything. Just that you need to use the name of that counting variable later on. Okay, if you find that but also anything is a terrible name, don't use that. If you find that you don't need to use it, you can use this thing called underscore. Okay, can you use this thing underscore? Right, and you can say, and let's say you just want to say stuff 20 times. You can just say stuff 20 times without using the counting variable. Okay, but I'm going to leave it there because it's easier for you to understand. One thing you note is that there is a warning. It says argument must be an integer literal. You know what? Let's ignore that. I don't know why that's there. If anyone can find out, that'll be great. But these look like integers to me. Who knows, right? Ignore, right? So warnings, yellow color warnings, perfectly fine most of the time. Okay, so don't freak out over the warnings. Your code is still going to run. It's just telling you that, hey, I think got something here, but you're perfectly fine to just say, hey, I don't care. All right, I have better things to do. Okay, so far so good. Okay. All right, I'm going to show you a few more things in forms because forms are very exciting. I get very excited about stupid things. Okay, so to me, forms are very exciting. So what I want to do is maybe I want to have a little text field, right, where I can fill in something on this thing. Okay, so you know what? That's great. That's perfect for a form. So remember how to use a text field? I'm going to go up here. I'm going to make a state variable that says, new thing. And I'm just going to set it to be a empty string. Okay. This is a new thing. That's an empty string. There's nothing inside here, but I want to put a text field as one of the items inside here. And I'm going to say the title is just, stupid. Open inverted comma. Why you like that to me? Wait, okay, wait, I have a mouse. New item. Okay, sorry, yeah. This is YJ fighting with his keyboard weekly basis. $, new thing. Okay, so you see what happened over here? Now I have this thing over here. It's got this faded out look, which is like a placeholder for you to type in here and just type stuff. Okay, so that's what a text field looks like inside a form. Okay, here's another thing I want to show you. You can have your list items go to the next screen. Okay, you can have your list items go to the next screen. To do this, I'm going to go create a new screen. Okay, so let's create a new file called new screen. New screen. Hello? Seriously? New screen. And inside here, I'm going to go copy over my stuff from Safari, where I happen to have this already. Remember, this is from tk.sg/swiftpgview. Right, I mentioned it before. And inside here, I'm just going to call this new screen. Tab over here to say, this is a new screen. And I'm going to tab over here to call this new screen preview and new screen. Okay, by right, I should call it new view lah, okay, but it's okay. All right, so down here, back inside my content view, I'm going to wrap one of these inside a navigation link. Remember navigation link? That's how you got from one navigation view into another. Let's show you. Navigation link, open curly brace, new screen, open bracket, close bracket, label, colon, see text, see more stuff. Okay, so take a look at what just showed up over here under kitchen towels. It's got see more stuff, and it's got this thing called a disclosure indicator. If you tap on it, it will actually bring you to the new screen. Okay, and that's not, I mean, bringing you to a new screen is not that interesting because you just did that in lesson 5. But this disclosure indicator is a nice way of styling it. Okay, it really fits very naturally, and people know that when you tap on this, something's going to happen. Okay, so this navigation link, very handy. All right, I want to show you a few more things. Okay, one is I want to show you a list style. So for this form, I'm going to try and find the form's list style. So first things first, you know how I find the closing curly brace of this, right? I'm going to tap on this thing, right? Not with a mouse, but with my finger. I'm going to tap on this opening curly brace. Then I'm going to scroll down, scroll down. And inside here, it says .navigation title groceries. I'm going to say .list style. Wait, what was it? There it is. .list style. There's .automatic, which is what you see. Okay. The .list style .grouped, which is also what you see because automatic gives you that. You can do .inset, which does look a bit different. Let's give it a moment to change. Is it changing? Is it working? Let me try running it. Hang on. Oh, there you go. Right, that's what it should look like. Okay, it's got this inset style. Okay. Not sure why it didn't do that in the preview. It could be because in the preview, it just decided to show it that way. That's interesting. Okay. Not sure why that's the case. Interesting. Okay. But yeah, inset is slightly different, right? It's got these little things. Dot plain, I think. Also don't want to update for me. Very strange. Okay. Okay. I think I might be inset grouped will update the smaller preview. Okay, let's try dot inset grouped. Nope. Okay, who knows, right? So this is weird. Swift Playgrounds does some weird stuff, and it doesn't actually say doing anything. Am I applying the list style to the wrong place? I can't be. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to apply it to the form. Okay, you know what? Looks like my preview looks like something's a bit broken. All right, don't worry about this. Right, so these are supposed to change things. Again, that's my conclusion. Jiachen says my preview is broken. Right. Never mind. Right. You can watch the Saturday class. I'll probably fix it by then. Okay. I also want to show you, in case you want to hide the navigation bar entirely. Okay. So you might be like, oh, I want my screen to look like this, but I don't want this giant navigation bar. If I take away the navigation title, all it does is remove the word and still have this ridiculous giant bar. Okay, so there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can do dot navigation bar hidden true. Okay, what that does is it removes the entire navigation bar. Oh wait, should that be from here? No, this one should be attached to the inner element again. Right, so you say dot navigation bar hidden true. Bye. Okay, so that's one way. If you tap on this, it will go to the next screen, and this screen will have its navigation bar because every sub screen can decide whether or not it wants to show a navigation bar. Again, once again, all this stuff is attached to the form, not to the navigation view, okay? Because the thing inside gets to decide whether to display the navigation bar or not. Okay, we are almost done. I have a couple more things I want to show you, okay? One of them is actually something I forgot to record in the video, in the lesson 5 video, so sorry, a bit I say. This one is a color picker, so I'm just going to show you how to use that. I'm going to just put in color picker, open bracket, close bracket. And what that does is, okay, I'm gonna need to do some stuff. You know what? Okay, tell you what. How about, remember I promised earlier, I said, I want to show you how to look up stuff, right? So let's say you're like, oh, there's this color picker in SwiftUI. How do I use it? Okay, let's go to Safari. Okay, let's go search for color picker SwiftUI. Okay, and there's going to be a lot of articles and stuff. You know what? I'm going to switch over to Google for this one. And there's going to be a lot of articles, but one of the top articles on Google at least is going to be hackingwithswift.com. And it's a really, really great website for learning SwiftUI because it's got all these little example stuff. The first one is the Apple's developer documentation, which I find a little bit intimidating for beginners, okay, which we are. So if you see Hacking with Swift, go click on that. So let's tap on this one. Okay, so you can say, hey, how to let users select a color with color picker. So by now, when you look at this should look kind of familiar to you, right? It's a struct content view, colon view, okay? Then you have to have a state variable. They have this word private here, but I think you can just ignore that for now, right? And then you just have a color picker. So I'm just going to copy these 2 lines of code, right? I'm going to copy this line of code and head over to here. So I'm going to have a state variable for my color. And I'm going to head back over to here. And I'm going to copy over this color picker line of code. And I'm going to just dump it somewhere inside my form. Okay. So what that does is it will apparently do nothing, which is very annoying. Okay. Oh, I think I know, right? This thing, let me put this inside a VStack just in case. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay, so what this does is it will actually have a way for you to tap on it and select the color picker. Okay, when you select the color picker, it will update this state variable called BG color. Okay, if you go and replicate the entire example that's given by Paul Hudson, who is at 2 Straws, if that name sounds familiar, it should, because it's the guy who wrote the Subsonic library. We're big fans. You can see that he's actually written a simple app where you can set the background color of your entire view. Okay, and he's got a lot more examples for you. All right, at this point, I'm running out of time. Let me just show you a couple more pickers. You can also not just have a color picker. I don't think any of you really have a color picker inside your Keynote prototypes, although you might have to now. Let's say you want to do a date picker. Okay, so I'm going to search for date picker SwiftUI. and I'm going to search with Google. That's what my exclamation mark G is. If you scroll down, hey, hackingwithswift.com, click on it, and you can see that he gives you an example. Okay, create a birth date equals to date, and then this date picker. And you know what? That's what it looks like. Okay, you tap on it, it's going to give you an entire calendar to search for. Okay, so this really is a great resource. And how do I get here? You just literally go and search on Google for SwiftUI followed by the thing you want to learn about. Let me show you one more, which is I think just regular picker. Okay, so SwiftUI picker. And you know what? I'm not going to be just going to search for hacking with Swift. Okay, because I feel like there we go. How to create a picker. What's a picker? A picker is one of these things where you can scroll up and down through something and choose a thing. Okay, it's like a little Rolodex thing that rolls up and down. Okay, so all these are well within your reach at this point. Okay, you should be able to kind of copy and paste code, but you hopefully know enough SwiftUI to not just be like, huh, what is this? And you copy and paste the wrong code and just like randomly dump it into the wrong places and stuff like that. You should kind of be able to see, oh, I need to create this thing and to create this thing between struct content view and var body sum view. And this thing's in the VStack. I don't need the VStack. I'm just going to grab the picker over here. I'm going to grab the text over here and paste it into my code. So SwiftUI really is very transferable, very transplantable. Okay, you can take it from somewhere, put it inside your code, and see what it does. And that's why it's fantastic for prototyping. Okay. Okay, so that's what I have for everyone today. My little task for you is to make your own grocery app. Right? I don't know if it's a grocery app. Make something with a list. Okay, I use one or more, or use whatever beyond what I've taught. Okay, make something and submit it to the Padlet. Okay, so let me do a quick recap of what we have done. Let me just switch my mouse over to this thing. And what we've done is we've learned about form and section. Oh, by the way, you can try replacing the word form with list and see what happens. Okay, there's a for each that we just did. We learned about pickers, bunch of pickers, and actually I didn't teach you anything about. I just taught you how to Google for them. Okay, and how to style your navigation. Okay, the list style for some reason didn't work. I'll figure it out by Saturday. Okay, so if you want to submit, it's at padlet.tk.sg/SwiftExplorers5a. I have reason to believe that I forgot to update this. Okay, okay, so Kilani wants to see new screen again. Sure, new screen is over here. Right, new screen has literally nothing. Okay, it's just got a piece of text that says this is a new screen. Okay, so it's just a way for me to demonstrate tapping on it to show something else. So don't worry about it. Okay. All right. That's it in terms of content. I still have the quiz for you. All right. I have to give you a warning. I have not seen this quiz. Jia Chen literally just made it up during the lesson. So I don't know what's going on inside this quiz. But if you're interested in staying with us for it, then by all means, I welcome you to come and play this quiz with us. But first, let me just load it up on my other screen. Okay. So where's my settings button? Where's my play button? Ah, there it is. Okay, so here we go. Here it is. Right, you can see my screen. Okay, so one quiz to round off the day, and if you're dying to submit your thing, just be aware I have not set up the 6A Padlet, 5A Padlet yet. Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with my Kahoot music, but yeah. Okay, please join my Kahoot. If you're in a hurry to go off, right, that's fine. I know we're exceeding time a little bit, but come try out. Okay. My volume is very weird. So, all right. So I'll give everyone another 10 seconds to join us on Kahoot. Okay, let's go. 180918, in case you haven't joined yet. Okay, 180918. All right, Unit 5 on navigation, view, and stuff. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so multi-select. Which of the following apps have a list in them? Okay, Instagram, settings, iMessage, WhatsApp. Okay, hopefully you know what these apps are. I think I mentioned most of them. Okay, a list is, of course, just, listing things out, right? One by one. Pretty much every social media app is a list. Okay, so that's your hint. Every social media app is listing stuff out. Okay, the answer is everything. Okay, the answer is everything. iMessage is the built-in chat app. Okay, just like WhatsApp, it's listing out. When you look through the people who send you messages, that's a list. When you look through someone's messages to you and from you, that's a list. Okay, all lists. Listy, list. Okay, well done to Kimmy. Let's keep going. What is the most efficient way to repeat a view? Is it copy and paste? Is it for each? Is it by setting the list out? Or is it ask your friend to copy and paste for you? Maybe the last one. Maybe. Okay, the answer is for each with a range. Okay, so that's what we did. For each, 0 ... less than something. Okay, but the syntax is a bit weird. Takes some time to get used to it. You can just copy and paste mine until you get used to it. Okay. All right, good job. Kimmy is still up top. What does the dollar represent in SwiftUI? Okay, so this is when you've seen the dollar, right? You've seen the dollar sign. When you make a text view, you have to have a dollar sign. You do a sheet, you have the dollar sign. What is a dollar sign? Okay, so the answer is a binding variable. I think we mentioned this at least once, okay, but never explained in detail. Not to worry, this week's video will have it. Okay, we'll talk about what's a binding. It's passing in a variable that the view can edit. Okay, so remember when you have a isSheet shown, you pass it to the sheet. After it dismisses, you set it to true, the sheet shows up. When the sheet dismisses itself, it suddenly becomes false. That means the view is editing that variable for you. Okay, so just keep this in mind. Not super critical to know. All right, well done to Jolie. Multi-select. Question 4. Which of the following ways allows you to present a new view? How do you show a new view on the screen? Okay, how do you show a new view on the screen? So we've gone through every single method that we think you need to know. Okay, so which of these have you heard about in the last week or two? Okay, the answer is red, blue, and green. There's no dot navigation link modifier. Okay, so that's a trick, right? Full screen cover is totally legit, right? It's like a sheet, but it covers the entire screen. Okay, it's like a big sheet. Okay, big sheet. All right, next, well done to Kilani, I presume. Or Kaberi? I haven't looked at the name list. How can you hide the navigation bar? Okay, how can you hide the navigation bar? Is it by setting .navigation bar hidden bracket true? Is it by adding a form? Is it by creating a new navigation view or by closing your eyes? Wait. Okay, it's by using navigation bar hidden true modifier on the contents of the navigation view. Okay, my cat is yelling at me, so we should finish up soon. All right, so question number 6. Which of the following resources do we recommend to learn SwiftUI? Hacker using Swift, hacking with SwiftUI, hacking with Swift, or SwiftUI hackers? Right, you must have seen me refer to this site a lot just now, right? Big fan, Paul Hudson and his work. Okay, it's called hacking with Swift, not hacking with SwiftUI. He actually does have stuff that's not SwiftUI related. Okay, but yeah. All right, well done to Kay. Yeah, I think it's Kilani because she asked the question just now. Yes, okay, so to create a color picker, what do you need? Do you need a state variable? Do you need a color picker view? Do you need a variable that's called isPresented to check if it's presented? Do you need a picker view? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay, you saw me make a color picker just now, or rather you saw me copy and paste code to make a color picker just now. Okay. Okay, the answer is out of all these, only the state variable. There's no such thing as a color picker view because color picker view is spelled COLOR. Okay, I'm so sorry to have scammed you on this. We do this to our students all the time. That's because Apple is made in California. California is in the USA, so they spell like Americans. So COLOR, we have no choice. Okay. All right, that's it for today. Let's look at the podium. Who are our winners? Nicole, well done. 6 of 7, Jolie. And 6 of 7, but faster, I guess, is Kilani. Well done to everyone. Okay, so good job. And Kimmy and Yong-Ai, well done. Okay, thanks everyone. That's all I have for today. Watch out for the new video coming up sometime at the end of the week. And of course, the recording of this will be up soon. But I will post the code very shortly. Okay, all right, thanks. Take care. Bye. Have a great evening ahead.